I've seen several of these videos come up where it's talking about like the YouTube drama community is toxic or things like that, as being a engager in the YouTube dropping community. I take offense to this. We'll take a look at it and see what he says, though, what he talks about. I know I saw pictures of like Ethan Klein and all of that, crazy shit. So let's see what it does for us.
SlopTuber has been gaining a lot of relevance in the last year or so, and I wanted to talk about it today. And not just like SlopTubers, but mainly like the commentary ecosystem, because you guys might have seen that Destiny and Ethan Klein have now turned against each other, and Destiny is even saying stuff about Ethan Klein supporting Israel. And if you know like literally anything about Destiny and Israel, you know he's pretty vocally supported Israel, even gone on trips paid by the Israeli government to Israel and filmed it and stuff. And now he's saying that.
I'm already smelling a bit of soy in this video, so here we go.
Because to a lot of these like commentary and even political commentary YouTubers, they don't really believe in anything. Now, they might have political beliefs.
How right could I be?
Or some sort of core principles, but that doesn't really stop them attacking other people and switching up their political beliefs or their views just to attack someone they used to be very close with. And this always seems to happen with this kind of brand of YouTuber, that you'll see these people feature on live streams together, collab on podcasts, and then maybe a month later, a year later, they're all making content on each other. It's this very like toxic ecosystem where there is no loyalty among SlopTubers. And it's probably not surprising all these people are like reactionary capitalists just seeking to milk any situation. And yeah, sure,
I am a milker of content. All right, so I gotta say this is the same thing that I always hear when it comes to like the commentary community, is that it's piranhas that are always eating themselves and things like that, that they have no principles or no things like that. And as far as I've seen, that's not the truth. Usually when a commentary creator or when a couple commentary creators go at each other, it's because they view that the person is not living up to their principles, or principles differ between commentary creators. I mean, yes, there are some that just, slap fight to slap fight, but you're looking at people who are actually making arguments about it, and sometimes they come out as friends, sometimes people split up. That's just the way of the world and things like that. But to me, I prefer that better than all of the people well, you're on the same side as me, so I'm going to agree and never question you on anything you ever do.
As we're going to talk about with the Destiny stuff, it's a good thing that his YouTube allies turned on him because of what he's done. At the same time, you see plenty of other examples where a lot of people turn on their friends just because it's the popular thing to do. And even if they have defended those creators for terrible behavior in the past, when the tide shifts against them,
I'm hoping he's going to show like some kind of evidence of this.
Don't worry, they'll get their jabs in as well. And that reminds me a lot of Mr. Beast, where every single SlopTuber had defended him for years and years and years, and then suddenly all of them turned against him. But there was this like general sentiment online that people didn't like him anymore.
Okay, he brings up More Pegasus, which is one of the most shit commentary channels that's up there. And are you going to tell us like what they were defending on Mr. Beast versus what they're going against? Like, yes, I believe More Pegasus just milked the shit out of Mr. Beast for no reason. Commentary, a lot of the commentary I watched was very much on the same side when it came to the Mr. Beast stuff. There wasn't a lot of negative towards him. I don't remember amongst the people that I watch, because it was just Mr. Beast hate for Mr. Beast hate, which happens all the time. there was a group, of course, that were milking, but just saying that that's the whole commentary community seems a little weak, brother.
Anymore. But even now, they've kind of stopped attacking him because the sentiment has returned to being like more neutral, right? And there's like a couple other examples I want to talk about. One of the recent ones, like
yeah, this is going to be something.
Sahar, Some Ordinary Gamers. He was in a scandal where he had lied about being an engineer his whole YouTube career. So all the knives came out for him because that is like the worst thing he has ever done ever. So endless commentary videos must be made on someone that you either know and are kind of friends with, or that you
can tell this guy really doesn't pay attention to commentary community, right? He sees a video and might watch some of it, or in this case, probably just read the comments or X about it. But that's not what happened with Mutahar at all. The drama around Mutahar was over several months, where things just kept coming out about him. He kept crashing out. It started with Nuxtaku and how flaky he was on his principles around Nuxtaku. He made a video. Calling out Nux, basically saying he was never going to be friends with the guy again because he had worked with Shadman and all the stuff that he had. Within 24 hours, he had deleted that video and apologized and like Mutahar is the one that can't be consistent with his morals. And as people looked in more stuff came to light that added to that. It wasn't just he said he was an engineer and he wasn't. And even then, when you look at the engineering side of it, I don't think anyone made more than like the people I watched made like 1 or 2 videos about it, maybe, if new information comes out. It may feel like there's a lot because every commentary guy is going to talk about it. Every reaction channel is going to talk about it, and there are a lot of them. But yeah, this is just a guy who isn't involved in the commentary community at all. So he's just sewing and talking about how bad they are.
You have constantly defended in the past, because this whole ecosystem is pretty much just driven by contrarianism, capitalism, and just clout chasing.
So all of the things that they like to say. Capitalism, of course, capitalism bad. Contrarianism, that's what I always hear. If you say anything different, I mean, it's hold on. Let me fucking pull this up here, because it's not contrarianism. Because I used to think that even Queeman was kind of a contrarian. He's really not when you actually listen to his arguments. Contrarianism is, or being a contrarian is basically arguing just for the sake of arguing, right? It's not, a person who opposes or rejects popular opinion or current practice just for doing it. No, a lot of these guys do think about their principles, do think about the things that they think about. Well, at least some of them do, right? The particular ones. And like I said, there's always going to be people who don't, and a lot of those people don't last very long in the commentary community because drama gets made about them, and suddenly the commentary community is toxic.
So there is no incentive to develop real relationships between creators, and the commentary ecosystem relies on just this insane interpersonal drama, which ultimately shows that these creators believe in nothing. Because if you are going to go as far as going on paid government trips to Israel to promote them, and then turn around and call one of your old allies like someone who supports like crimes against humanity because they support Israel, then it shows you just never really gave a shit. And you see, even with politics content, you see all of...
Can we see that, though? Like, if you're talking about Destiny, sure. Destiny doesn't seem to hold many morals that he talks about and twists his stuff all the time. But I need to see the examples that you're talking about, because this is just broadly the commentary community, not any particular commentary person.
Politics as just like constant drama and beef with other political creators. And we also had this on leftist YouTube for the longest time when Vosh was popular, and so many like Vosh copycat channels popped up, and so many people like who were hangers on, just like with Destiny, and they would turn the whole of left-wing YouTube into a similar type of thing to commentary YouTube. Thankfully, after Vosh got exposed.
Well, one thing that happens, like, here's the thing, like with commentary in general, it touches politics quite a bit. There's always some kind of thing to talk about in politics. And even with me, like, I don't really like talking about politics, right? I don't want to get in here and make political arguments. I don't want to argue right wing, left wing agenda. But even then, I end up touching it because of the anti-woke. That's a political movement, full hands down. But it's a political movement that I am invested in, so I talk about it, right?
For that horse file, all of these channels have seemed to have died, and his influence on the general left-wing community.
I would argue that his channel was already starting to die, and that BreadTube as a whole has kind of been falling down. Now, they may make a comeback with Trump in office, like, where they kind of came out during 2016 and then, super growth around the 2020s and stuff like that.
Community has really waned, that like no one wants to associate with him anymore. All the channels that clung to him have pretty much died at this point. People
don't like to associate with horse fuckers.
But there was a time.
That's a lie. He's not a horse fucker. He wants to be the horse that does the fucking.
Where even like left-wing YouTube would do the exact same shit that I'm going to talk about in this video. And it is profitable. And it was profitable for left-wing YouTube. But ultimately, it's not sustainable for most creators. And I think people who consume this content and creators who make it just drive themselves crazy by trying to defend constantly the indefensible and constantly switching up their own principles and views just to cash in on what's popular. So I'm going to talk about all of that today. I don't even know what I'm going to call this video. But before we go any further, if you want to follow me on social media, check me out on Blue Sky and on Instagram at The Cavernacle. If you want to support my work, support me on YouTube memberships or on my Patreon page. And if you liked the video after you've watched it, please leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. So just before we...
Not even on X. Unlucky.
We get into the recent events I want to talk about. I just want to talk about how this was big on left-wing YouTube a tiny bit more. So when I started making YouTube videos in like progressive YouTube, most of the content creators in the space were like more news type content creators. So I spoke a lot how the Young Turks kind of model was kind of like the tried and tested model of how to run a political YouTube channel, right? So you'd cover the news, you'd cover it more like straight up, and you had like various channels like Secular Talk, The Humanist Report, Rational National, and even myself, I would try and be a bit more like that. So you'd cover it like straight up.
Ah, and there it is. A former commentary guy, political commentary.
Politics. But then what you had, I guess in maybe like 2019 and 2020, was the rise of like the live streamers in the community. Destiny had already been pretty big for like just debating people, streaming all the time. But then you had people coming out of his community like Vosh, and people like Vosh and then his copycats and clones and his hangers-on, they created a new ecosystem on the left that was all about either debating crazy people, debating right-wingers, or going after left-wing people in a really, really toxic way. And if you did have a conversation with someone that you supposedly had disagreement with, it would quickly turn toxic and then turn into some sort of just like content slot that you'd constantly bring up. You'd constantly try and monetize it. You'd constantly try and bring it up. And your audience would lap that shit up.
So like everything in YouTube, right? Everyone who starts to make it big, it really does. It becomes your job. So you want to market it that way. So you're going to be like, the problem with gaming YouTubers is, especially the ones that do reviews, is they want to keep making money and they want to keep getting that free access to games, early access to games, so they become nicer naturally, and they say less harsh things about the games, and to the point where you have people that will just flat out do a sponsorship for a game. We've already seen that the other day.
Up as entertainment, and it increasingly made the online left space really toxic, because although most online,
I would argue that politics in general is toxic.
leftists didn't act like this, because this guy who came from Destiny's own community had such a big influence, he did turn a lot of online leftist YouTube into this just crazy drama happening all the time. And thankfully, I feel people both grew tired of that content and became sick of this guy once he exposed himself, because there's a reason you don't see him collab with anyone anymore or even debate anyone about anything, is because everyone has basically shunned him for what he exposed himself to be. But it made it such a toxic space, and I'm very happy that era is over, as someone who posted here before it started and has posted here long after it's gone. It was just the worst thing for any sort of like dialogue between different left-wing groups. And although people might accuse me as someone who's also started drama, if you actually watch my videos where I criticize like bread tubers, for example, none of that is based in like personal attacks. I'm not resorting to personal insults. I'm not trying to make some sort of drama where I have a arc like his fans used to say about himself. It was just constructive criticism and analysis about how left-wing YouTube has changed. People might have turned that into drama afterwards. I wasn't responsible for how the video was, I guess, received by some people. Even after making a little follow-up, I don't want to talk about that anymore, because I feel like the excessiveness of talking about something like that would drive the content back in the direction that I don't like. And that's even when I said, when Hassan and Ethan Klein had that debate about Israel for like 5 hours, like, what is even the fucking point of this? Because again, it reminded me of what left-wing YouTube used to feel like, where people would just have these crazy debates, and it would resemble something more like the commentary community, where people would take sides primarily based on personalities, and it would all be about interpersonal drama.
So far this guy's just yapping. I need you to show me these examples of things that you don't like amongst the commentary community so that I can comment on it.
And there was nothing constructive done in these arguments or streams. And I feel like in a little niche community like left-wing YouTube, having that style of content being very popular just was a recipe for disaster. So I'm glad we've moved past it. But it's
spoiler alert, the left-wing politics has not moved past it.
Never stopped in the commentary, centrist, liberal type of streamer and content creator. And that's where we find ourselves with this recent thing. Like I said, these people primarily don't believe anything, or they don't believe in any politics or morals stronger than like their personal beefs with people. That's the main thing that matters. Have you slighted that person? Have you angered that person? Have you said something mean about that person? That's the thing that matters most, and that's what your commentary should be informed by. So this all started when a YouTuber, some sort of anti-leftist drama YouTuber from the looks of things, just like loads of videos about empanada.
He's bringing up Willie Mac.
iDubbbz and Hassan on his channel. Don't really know much about him. I did have him blocked on Twitter, so...
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, you are on Twitter. Why do you have him blocked? Did you and him get into it?
I must have seen him before. But he made a video talking about reporting Destiny to the police. And from what I understand...
Okay, now we're getting into stuff.
There was that big scandal of Destiny having lots of recorded content of like his own sexual encounters, and even ones he wasn't involved in. And he had been collecting them and had them saved. And what this Willie Mac alleges is that one of the people in the videos was 17 years old, and he actually knew it, and he told him he had the video, and this Willie Mac reported Destiny to the police. So from what I understand, that Willie Mac and Destiny were sort of on the same page. There's a lot of content creators like this who just basically just follow Destiny's lead and attacking the left and attacking people like Hassan. And it was also pretty clear when Ethan Klein was going hardcore against pro-Palestinian leftists, a lot of that was informed by Destiny's community, and pretty likely they were probably talking behind the scenes about various different things to do with that, right? So these people were all allies. Ethan Klein sees this, and now he's made loads of videos on Destiny, right? And I guess there's one or two things people like Ethan Klein could do. You either distance yourself from this guy, or maybe you try and attack him for what he did because you feel like that creates the distance of like, oh no, you weren't actually that close with him. So responding to a tweet that said Ethan Klein.
So from what I've gathered from this and the things that I've watched, it kind of looked like Destiny was trying, because Destiny and Ethan have a shared enemy, right? Hassan. So it kind of seemed like Destiny was trying to sweet up to Ethan, and then when this happened, even before, I don't think Ethan would have taken. I don't think he would have collaborated with Destiny after all the picture leaks and the revenge porn stuff going on in the lawsuit. But yeah, this was just kind of like the he's doing Yeet too, of all people. I dislike Yeet. He's just his comment. He's too biased for me to be the commentary guy, or the he's trying to be the new like streamer fails. But, and let's see, Ethan Klein dropped a video on Destiny scandal. Destiny even showed up in the comments accusing him of getting info wrong. Ethan asked Destiny, is the claim that the DMs are yours but with someone other than Rose? Do you deny having
and dropped a video on a Destiny scandal. Destiny even showed up in the comments accusing him of getting it wrong, and then Destiny replying, Willie Mack is running cover because he wants to get in with the boys again. Ethan is trying to distance himself from me because he's too weak to deal with Hassan's attacks against him, using me as a vector since he has literally nothing of substance to contribute in this arena. So then he says to Ethan Klein, you, Zionist and genocide supporter in the US with loyalty to Israel first, and Healer, IDF maniac night raiding innocent Palestinians in the West Bank because she wasn't seeing enough bloodshed at her desk job, writing pardons for the IDF, deserve all the CPS calls for dogshit eating claims and everything else.
Okay.
You deserve zero sympathy from anyone else on the internet when you're so quick to turn around and rely on the same snark shit that's been plaguing you for years as soon as you think it's beneficial. I hope your prior maid takes you for a milli in her lawsuit against you guys as well. For anyone else watching, you should assume that every single influencer person you meet on the internet is a terrible human being with zero values or principles.
Funny.
See you tomorrow for stream. For the first time, probably in like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years, I'm agreeing with Destiny about something. Yeah, you should assume most
Hold on, what?
people who make their living on Twitch or YouTube are bad people. And also, yes,
that includes
Ethan
you,
Klein
right?
generally complaining about snark subreddits as harassment, while relying on that for years and years and years, is obviously super hypocritical. But this is the main part of the video, and this is what I want to talk about, because I don't follow this drama enough to really get into the weeds of everything about Ethan Klein and Hassan and Destiny right now. But the one thing obviously I do know is, which is clear to everyone, Destiny has been a massive supporter of Israel. He has constantly debated people from the pro-Israeli position. He's even visited Israel as well. He leads an online community who constantly harass pro-Palestinians. It's pretty fair to say there is nothing anti-Israeli generally in his content over the last, nearly 2 years, right? So for him to then turn around and start saying that Ethan Klein is a Zionist with loyalty to Israel first, and say all this stuff about Healer Klein being this IDF soldier and stuff like that, it just shows fundamentally these people don't give a fuck about this.
These people, it's Destiny. You're talking about one person and playing, spreading it over the commentary community. And even then, you're only talking from the post of this one tweet and what Destiny has done. Yes, Destiny has no morals. He's shown that over and over and over again over his career. He will, moral frog about pedophilia, after debating how about the positives of pedophilia, or how to the pedophilia rape stuff, and then turn around the next day and go after a friend of his for something completely different. This guy has no morals. How is that the commentary community?
This stuff, right? Someone like Destiny and many others and many other content creators, it feels
Who are these many other content creators?
like first and foremost they are contrarians against certain groups like left-wing YouTubers or something like that. So whatever Hasan says, Destiny has to say the opposite. And this informs their political beliefs so much, so they can literally just switch it up and start saying this shit to H3 and Ethan and Hila Klein.
No. Destiny is a psychopath who will say anything he can to hurt somebody that criticized or went after him. Not that Ethan is a fucking more arbiter of morals, right? We've talked about how he is all about doxing, and now he's got his lawsuit that kind of spins, that kind of feels like the opposite. I know it's not completely. I understand he seems to have a good case for some of them, but it's not, his case isn't out of spite, or it's out of spite. It's not using the copyright system the way it should be, because he could just make a copyright claim like everyone else and get it set down. No, he has to sue the people involved. You're talking about you're only talking about Destiny and then portraying it all to all the other commentary people. At least that's what I'm seeing so far.
Like, I know he doesn't actually believe that, by the way. So people come into the comments saying, oh, he's just trolling them and stuff like that. I know he's just trolling them.
He's not trolling him. He's crashing out is what he's doing.
Even using this shit as trolling insults as part of your interpersonal drama with another YouTube channel just shows fundamentally my point. And these political commentary YouTubers just don't give a shit about anything. It's all about being the king of their own little communities. It's all about clout, and it's all about basing your relationship.
I hate to tell everybody who likes to tell people it's all about clout. All of YouTube is all about clout. Since its inception, it has been about clout. Even when people weren't getting paid, they were doing it to make fun videos that got them attention from other people, right? So there are legitimate clout goblins, right? People who do, will do any wretched thing to get the attention of somebody, right? Those kind of people exist. But the idea that these people are out for clout and I'm not is bullshit. You make your videos hoping people will watch them, and you pretend to be principled about it, when really you're just chasing the same clout everyone else is.
On who is nice to you, rather than basing your relationships on anything ideologically consistent. And like I've been saying, like Ethan Klein and Hila Klein, in my opinion, are terrible people. And Willie Mack, don't know much about him, but yeah, they're right to turn against Destiny in this instance. But obviously it's also ironic they never turned against him before this properly, considering all the allegations he's had over the last year or so.
Yeah, Willie Mack caught a ton of shit for that. A ton of shit for that from other commentary creators who were telling him that he's not standing by his own original morals, and that he is willing to, in a way, that sweeping was not really the case, but he was going softer on Destiny during the entire revenge porn allegations.
And also nothing
he even put in his video to make it about Hasan somehow too.
He has ever said is too far for them. All the crazy shit he's ever said isn't too far for him. This is the thing where they'll finally get their knives out and capitalize on making content against him, despite being his buddy for the longest time, thinking that doesn't...
Dude, Willie Mack is the most normal dude on the internet, right? He is like a normie walking amongst a bunch of degenerates online. When that happened, yeah, he instantly saw that Destiny was doing something highly against his morals, and he did something about it, right? I don't think that makes him good for everything else he's done, right? There's this thing that seems to be a foreign concept to people on the internet, is you can have two thoughts at the same time. You can say Willie Mack is making shitty videos that are sweeping for Destiny, and then you can say Willie Mack's video again, calling him out for the pedophilia thing, or at least calling the police. I don't know that you needed to make a video about it, but Willie calling the police on him because he talked about having a minor's nudes and videos online, right? That you can have those two thoughts at the same time. It's not just, well, we're on the same side, so we're gonna play the same game, right? You believe in the same things I do, 100% fully, 1,000% all the time, every day.
Reflect poorly on them at all, when it absolutely does, because you were there for all the other shit. It's only now, when you found something that most people will agree on is terrible, that you're getting the knives out. But it's not out of...
What is all the other shit? Him saying shitty stuff about Trump? I'm pretty sure even Willie Mack called him out on saying shit about Trump. But Destiny making crazy offhanded comments is Destiny. That's just his entire career. So, yes, when the revenge porn thing happened, a lot of people that were close to Destiny and commentary creators who had started to get close to him were like, nope, don't want to be a part of that. Willie Mack was one of the last hanger-oners until he heard about child porn. There's a thing called a line. Just because you get your feelings hurt at the things that Destiny says doesn't mean that everyone else gives a shit about where, like, just because you have certain morals in an area doesn't mean other people have those morals. Everyone's got a line somewhere, and it's all different.
Of any principles to any of this shit, and I feel like this is a consistent throughout commentary YouTube. So now let me just extend this a bit further. Let's go into an example from last year, right? And I think this is a great example. So Mr. Beast, unlike Destiny, was one of the most popular YouTubers in terms of sentiment towards him, right?
He still very much is. I'm sorry.
I called out Mr. Beast in summer 2020, and the video I made on him got so much hate for so long. It was literally impossible to find positive comments. I made a few follow-up videos about it. And
yeah, if you make a video on the largest, YouTuber of all time, pretty much, you're going to get a lot of hate from fans because there's a lot of them.
I would call out other content creators for constantly defending all the stupid and terrible shit he did, right? So for the longest...
So you were doing commentary.
This time, there was a YouTube hive mind around Mr. Beast. Every commentary slop tuber would make videos defending Mr. Beast. There was pretty much nothing he could do that ultimately...
I don't know that I would call... I guess he's a commentary guy, but I don't know that that Charlie necessarily fits in with that.
They would turn against him for. Now, the principal thing is important here. So
it's not... What's this turning against him? Just because you defend an argument that you don't think matches doesn't mean that you're solely attached to that guy.
I hated Mr. Beast for his worker exploitation, general worker abuse, using poverty as a backdrop for his content, loads of more anti-capitalist reasons. I didn't like him, right? So my hatred of him has always been principled. So once again,
I have always been principled. My principles are sound.
I find myself being one of the few people who still talks about him in a negative way in the online YouTube space. But last year, there was various allegations against him, loads and loads of pretty crazy ones, terrible treatment of his workers, a culture of just a frat boy culture at his work, actually hiring a registered pred to help run his company. And you had his new game show facing loads of allegations. You had obviously Jake Weddle came out and described him.
Jake Weddle was a fucking pussy, and his shit meaned absolutely nothing. He was worthless waste of space who did it to himself.
Filming part of one of his videos and just how terrible the experience was, and all of this.
An experience that he could walk away from at any time. Now, yes, there can be some pressure around that, but you as an individual have to make yourself stand up and, defend yourself. right? He's not even dipping into the controversy around that. Like, with the Weddle side of it was complete retardation.
Abuse he felt from Mr. Beast, right? So we had all of
This guy just hears abuse and he instantly believes it.
that stuff.
Believe all Weddles.
So every single YouTuber who had defended Mr. Beast for years and years and years, called him a great guy, was collaborating with him, was constantly defending him as like this wonderful example we should all aspire to be, they all got the knives out.
When was you're showing the same two from earlier? What are the other ones? Was more Pegasus collaborating with him? Show me these.
They were all digging it in.
Show me where they were collaborating first, because I'm not going to dig to see where that is. You're making the claim.
Every single little drip from this drama, they were absolutely loving and
Yeah, Pegasus fucking milked the shit out of that drama on the negative side of it. And, you know, he got called out quite a bit for it.
capitalizing on, like non-stop. People who had never said a bad word about him suddenly couldn't shut up about how bad this guy was. Just non-stop. But then what happens? He goes away, talks about investigating his own company, has a little break, and then he comes back. Starts collaborating with loads of big YouTubers again, starts featuring on like loads of different channels, just starts uploading like normal, gets like absolutely insane promotional interviews from YouTubers like Umperville.
So here's the funny thing about this is, let's talk about where all of that was coming from, right? All of these allegations that were coming out were coming from one source. And yes, a lot of the commentary guys are like, okay, this looks like it could be good stuff. You know, the first video seemed kind of strong. So the initial outcome was like, yeah, it looks like Mr. Beast may be in the wrong here. But as more came out, as more people found out about who Dogpack really was, as he tried to put out more videos on this harassment and stuff like that, it started to show that it was really just a disgruntled YouTuber or a disgruntled employee who fucked it up on his own. He ruined the case, and that's why almost everyone turned away from him, because this ended up being, in the end of it, after all of the information had come out, there was Dogpack, Jake Weddle, and Rosanna Pansino, who still to this day tweets about how bad Mr. Beast is because she got third place in a hide and seek competition. So you're just saying, well, all these bad things came out. It doesn't sound like you even looked at this drama any deeper.
And others, and people moved on, and people don't care anymore. So
yeah, because the vast majority of the evidence was found to be lacking, found to be untrue, or found to be overplayed.
What happened is they all made their money because they were capitalizing on the outrage, but these YouTubers didn't actually give a fuck that Mr. Beast had done anything bad. It's simply something to cover on your channel, and you have no principles or no consistent ideology.
I cover stuff on my channel, so I have no principles. Right, got it.
So when, like, lately he keeps doing bad stuff, and I've covered it on my channel, and he just keeps exposing himself to be this like terrible guy, none of them care. Because if you make content on stuff that isn't like a viral controversy, you have to be motivated by something other than making loads and loads of money off it. It's because you actually want to talk about it because you care. So if you're generally talking about Mr. Beast in a more nuanced way in terms of his impact or in terms of how he treats people, I called out Mr. Beast for racist AI thumbnails. What SlopTube?
Oh God, really? Yeah, he's such a bad guy.
Is going to care about that on multiple grounds. Firstly, they all use AI themselves. Secondly, most of them are racist. So
no, not all of them.
You don't have the principles. You're not going to call them out for it. It's not going to become a viral drama because no one.
Well, no one cares because you think these are racist thumbnails, right? You can call them whatever you want. If people don't think they're racist, they don't give a fuck. I'm sorry that people don't want to watch your video on a topic that no one gives a fuck about.
No one gives a fuck, right? So that's where you're at with that stuff. And again, they just move on like it's normal. And who gives a fuck about that?
This guy just sounds like he is sad that no one is watching his videos.
And then we move on to like a recent one I paid attention to because I thought it was interesting again. So Some Ordinary Gamers is again one of these big YouTubers who seems to be connected to all the ones we speak about, right? Has collabed with a lot of the ones we've mentioned. And like a lot of these commentary slot tubers, goes after people like Hassan. Generally, you would describe him as a centrist who is probably like anti-left, right? But it's another thing of manufactured drama. So a YouTuber, a small-time YouTuber, I believe, released
Nick Andros, let's go
video saying that Mutahar, who runs the channel, has been lying about his jobs and has been lying about being an engineer. So he basically constantly referred to himself as an engineer despite not finishing university, not having any degree in any sort of engineering. And then he constantly would say about having various jobs that he never actually had. So what they were saying is, oh my God, you're such a liar and you've lied about this, so we question your credibility. And if you don't like a YouTuber because you think they bullshit too much and they're a liar, then that's whatever, right? But that, in essence, was the drama and the bad thing he did. He lied about being an engineer. That's the bad thing he did. And then what happens afterwards is all the commentary YouTubers who are friends with him, who have collabed with him, who have had nothing but nice words to say about this guy for years and years, suddenly
who are these?
say it. And I think he's a bad guy for like,
who are these people? You're just doing this wide breadth of all the commentary community people. Mutahar has been losing faith, and Nick Andros is like number one Mutahar hater, by the way. He does not like Nux Taku, and he does not like Mutahar at all. So he's almost in A-log territory. And in fact, he got called out for one of these videos by the commentary community because he mentioned it being possible that it was illegal that Mutahar had did it, and it was just kind of proven. Who was it? It was Harmful Opinions. Kind of proved that that wasn't really the case. No one would have followed up on it, and Nick Andros changed his mind. But it's so much more than just the fact that he said he was an engineer when he wasn't, right?
a multitude of other reasons. Do I really give a shit that he lied about being an engineer? Like, no. But again, it went viral. So when it goes viral, everyone gets in on it. Everyone capitalizes on it.
WestJet, yes, sure.
And anyone who knew him, well, they can't help themselves. When something so juicy comes up that everyone's talking
Diesel patches, WestJet.
about,
WestJet, I don't really care for. I agree, his is just kind of slop. I mean, I think it's all slop. I think my content's slop. So
doesn't matter what your relationship to this person was. Doesn't matter if you were friends.
Sensitive society.
Just get them for content. Get them for.
Dude, this whole idea of, oh, they're your friends, you should instantly defend them. This is fucking weak. Come on, man, get your shit together. If your friend does something wrong and you call him out for it, and then he acts like a little bitch about it, yeah, milk him for content. These, like, I don't even know that Sensitive Society or WestJet or any of those people were even that close with Mutahar, right? One thing I say about the internet, like as a whole, is there's a difference to me in real life, like friends that I get close to, and even with me, I don't get close to a lot of more civilian people. I have close relationships with military buddies that I've built over the years, but I don't really care to, like, an acquaintance is more what people are going to be in general. And online friends, it's a similar situation. You can become closer friends with maybe like one or two people online, but this idea that they were friends because they did content together so you can't call them out on their bullshit is just fucking brain dead.
For profit and get them for clout. Otherwise, people will turn against you as well because you've created this frothing, toxic audience who are just out for blood. They want something stupid to be mad about, so you have to feed them the slop. Get mad about Mr. Beast and then don't care about it. Get mad about Some Ordinary Guy.
So this thing is, Mr. Beast went through this thing. It was found out later that a lot of it was bullshit. People called out Dogpack. Dogpack disappeared from the internet. That's the end. That's all they wanted to talk about. That's all that needed to be talked about. This idea that you have to keep going hard at Mr. Beast because you in particular dislike him, so everybody should be all over his ass, when most people aren't going to care about a racist thumbnail, right? Most people probably aren't even going to see that thumbnail as racist, especially not amongst his normie fans, right? That's a lefty internet bread tube argument that happens on there, right? It's a moral frogging argument on, well, look what he did in his event to get attention on whatever Mr. Beast bullshit he's trying to do at this time.
Gamers calling himself an engineer and then forget it after 2 seconds. It doesn't fucking matter.
So we should keep talking about him being an engineer over and over and over again, even though nobody will care. You say your piece and you move on, because Mutahar wasn't going to go on and contest it with anybody. See, when you do like journalist style stuff, like, I don't think I'm a journalist, but I like to talk about events, current events that are happening in my area. You make a video on the subject, like we just did about the Alyssa Mercante case, and then that's it. You've made the video. You know, you might make 2 depending on how big the video is, but then it's, if things come out that add to that or change your opinion, God forbid you change your opinion, then you do that. It's this is just another commentary community is toxic because they argue with each other.
It's all, I wouldn't necessarily call it like brain rot, because these videos are often like over 10 minutes, but what you notice in these videos as well, you have the original video, the guy, the small YouTuber who made the original allegations, all they do is regurgitate what he said and add nothing to it. Sure, they sit down and
yeah, you're full of shit there. Go ahead and show me that, please.
record another video. They don't literally just play the guy's video like it's a stream or something, but they add absolutely nothing. So it's even more clear there is no ideological consistency or actual moral outrage about stuff. It's moral outrage in like a baby brain way. Like,
no, yeah, a baby brain way. Hold on.
Lying is bad. Scamming is bad. Tying it to no greater philosophy or...
Oh, dear Lord fucking Jesus. You're not being political enough. You're not being philosophical enough. You're just talking about the subject and giving your opinions on it. You can't possibly, you're not intellectual enough. This is brain rot.
or anything like that. It's just a very reactionary impulse of, this thing is bad. He said this thing that is bad, and then they move on about their day. Now, you guys might think these things don't really matter, and I agree, in a vacuum they don't matter, but I do think
they matter to you. You're making this video.
As we're seeing right now, the commentary YouTubers have decided, like, Hasan is this...
He really doesn't like more Pegasus.
...target, right? So Hasan is a target that they have to incessantly cover for perceived slights against them.
Hasan has been a target that people on the political side target constantly. Like, that hasn't changed. There's just this huge battle between Ethan and Hasan, and everyone's making content creation around it. Well, almost everyone. I want almost nothing to do with it.
I've made my own videos on criticizing Hasan, which he actually watched on his stream, right? And
oh no, I think he's a Hasan fan.
I know people like Bad Empanada have also criticized Hasan. And when we criticize Hasan, it's not that we really care about stuff he does in his personal life. It's pretty much purely about his political positions, right? And the reason we don't over-obsess on him is because
he's so proud that Hasan watched his video.
our political disagreements aren't that vast. But when these commentary YouTubers who don't really talk about politics or understand politics start hyper-focusing on someone like Hasan, who doesn't do like the scam bad or like lies about stuff all the time, you have to actually start talking about his politics. So then what happens is you lead your audience into taking a pro-Israel position just to attack this guy as part of your righteous crusade against any content creator who does a bad thing. So what happens is these slop tubers take people who might not even care about politics at all, and suddenly they're defending pro-Israeli positions just to attack the villain of the week. And this is often Hassan, but being one of the biggest streamers.
So yeah, this is just turning into Israel Palestine, like every other fucking brain rot fucking political movement
is around, and that sees them.
I mean, the Free Palestine in the back says it all.
Ally with people like Asmongold and other people who espouse so much far right garbage just to attack this one guy, because they don't hate Hassan based on politics. Really, they don't really understand politics enough to hate him. They see it based on commentary drama slop, but they'll go along with the political narratives just to attack him, and that's why the audience will shift right with the creator.
Oh, so this is the problem. The audience is shifting right.
Just trying to attack Hassan, and because Hassan is pro-Palestinian, that means pro-Palestinian is bad because Hassan is bad, therefore Israel good. That's actually where the contrarian mindset leads you. And even you see that with Destiny responding to Ethan Klein now. He's taking like a pro-Palestinian position.
He's crashing out is what he's doing.
Like just to troll them and just to argue against them when he's
not taking a pro-Palestinian position. He is crashing out and saying things that he thinks will make Ethan upset. Crashing out and saying shit like that doesn't mean you're taking a pro-Palestine position. Not everything is a political position. Sometimes a big baby like Destiny just crashes out and says shit.
Crazily pro-Israel the entire time. And the result of this style of content is just toxicity. Tie it all back to the start of the video. I remember when I was a small leftist channel and I was watching all these creators blow up, like the Vosh adjacent creators. And when you're a small creator, you're kind of thinking about more like, how do I talk about my political stuff while getting views? And I remember I made a video about Vosh basically saying that black nationalism was like white nationalism. And I responded to it, and it got decent views, and it also got obviously like fanboys in the comments saying that how I was wrong. And I realized that this type of content could be popular. But I also made a decision, I think that year in 2020, I was like, I'm not going to go down this route. I'm not going to be someone who constantly makes videos on other left-wing content creators and constantly debates stuff with other leftist content creators. If I would ever call out people who are viewed to be in my space, let's say like my David Pakman video from 2021, I would try and make it like more analytical, literally just respond to their arguments, not get personal, and just analyze their content in that way, and don't make it the bulk of my content. Like, I don't want to be the content creator who only talks about other content creators, because while that might be profitable and in the short term might have made me a lot more popular, I didn't see any longevity in that. And also I just saw it as part of a toxic ecosystem on left-wing YouTube that I didn't actually want to be a part of. I didn't want to get into personal dramas with other creators. So like I said, I've criticized people like Hassan, and I've made it these long videos, and I've pretty much responded to stuff he's actually said, not making it like super personal or anything like that, not saying I hate this guy and he's a demon. But that's good and that can be important. But what the commentary YouTubers do, even the political ones, it's not based on consistent morals. It's based on their own pursuit of power over their community, their own clout chasing, and ultimately for a lot of money, because this thing is often very, very profitable. Look at some of the views of the thumbnails I've shown you throughout this video. There's a reason they stick the knives into their best friends, because it makes them money, right? So there's no loyalty amongst stock tubers. But I just want to talk about this for a while, so I thought I'd drop this video today. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Yeah, okay. That was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Another soy person talking about how the commentary community isn't isn't political enough, isn't philosophical enough. All they do is report the content and give their opinions. How dare they? So with that, I'm actually overtime, but we're going to call it a night tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. If you like the stream, and we will see y'all tomorrow, hopefully with some new content. Later.